I don't know if we'll be able to see people's comments.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. We are live on the network podcast, and I am so excited to welcome Bisi MacGregor here. And Bisi, you are our first live podcast guest.
Really?
Yes, yes,
Yay!
yes. For those
Super
who
excited.
are new to the network podcast, we are a strategy and success podcast for healthcare consultants. Whether you are an aspiring healthcare business consultant or whether you are an experienced healthcare consultant, our goal is to be able to share strategies and success tips with you so you can grow or scale and even launch your existing consulting firm. And so, for those who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Elle Pearson. I'm a healthcare consultant. I specialize in corporate brand experience and reputation risk, and I am your host. And I can't wait for you to meet this extraordinary woman who is grounded in mindset, grounded in Christ, and she has so many special tips and gifts to share with you. Bisi, I want you to introduce yourself to our audience of healthcare consultants. I know you're going to bless them today with a whole lot of information, so I can't wait to get in and get started.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am super excited to be here, Elle. And wow, I didn't realize I was the first live guest. I feel super special. Yes. So excited to be here. So listen, I am the founder of Fear to Freedom, the creator of the Live More Fearless method. My name is Bisi MacGregor. I am an international speaker, a TEDx speaker. And what I do is I work with high achievers, ambitious go-getters, big-hearted professionals to transcend their fears so they can go after what their heart desires so that fear never stops them again. Period. That is what I do. And I do this through life coaching, mindset work, and just helping you to be your best self, because I know this to be true. Fear contends for who we are every day. Every day, every moment, every minute, there's a contention for your attention, who you are. It's either fear or freedom. You're always in service to one or the other. So what I help my clients do is identify what fear looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like from a mile away, so they can make a different choice in the direction of what they want for their lives.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you know what, Bisi? This is why I felt like it was so important to bring you on to the show. Number one, I feel as though we all deal with fear in some capacity, right? It doesn't matter whether it's personal goals, business goals, and your own professional goals, we deal with it.
Yes.
But here's one thing that I know to be true about going into business as a consultant, especially in the healthcare industry, where we're not used to having to go out and market and have a sales strategy. Those things are really new to us.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times that fear of the unknown gets into the way of us being able to start our business.
Yeah.
And so I really want to just ask you a few questions. I know that your personal experience, you came from corporate, so you can relate to having to deal with personal fears that hold you back from moving forward. When you have the ideas, you have the concepts, you have how to make this organization improve, but it's like, this is new territory to me.
Yes.
So I want to know a little bit about how you broke away from corporate and dealt with your own fears, because you have the solution, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question too. Broke away from corporate.
But we all relate to that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. So I consider myself a corporate baby. I call myself a corporate baby because that's where I grew up. All my work experience has been in the corporate world. And I tell people that I come in contact with that I've had 3 divorces. And you might be on here and saying, oh my God, 3 divorces. Well, don't judge me yet. They're not all men, and neither are they all women. There's one man, yes. And the second one was the corporate job, that corporate experience. And the third one was the biggest of all. It was from my old self, the one who was in service to fear, the one who climbed the corporate ladder, had the 6-figure job, had the corner office, all of that. And just, there was this gaping hole inside of her. You know, the one who settled in a relationship where she no longer just recognized who she was, until I divorced myself from that old person was I able to finally come into what it is that I was called to do, which is this. So yes, do we all deal with fear? Absolutely. Now here's what's important and what's true also for a lot of the clients that come into my sphere. They do not consider themselves fearful.
Mm.
They don't even identify with that word fear. They would tell you that they're pretty fearless. They're confident. We're go-getters. We're high achievers. You're the six-figure earners in your job. So no, they're not fearful. But what they don't tell you is at night, when their head lays on that pillow, hits that pillow, and they're thinking to themselves, this is like the fifth year this idea has come knocking. And
Yes.
I still haven't brought this idea to fruition. What is happening? Who can I talk to? Because you're the one who has been the go-to person for everybody in your camp.
Yes.
So you can't turn to anyone to say, hey, but I'm a little anxious. So we don't walk around saying I'm fearful, I'm afraid, or I'm scared, but you say I'm anxious. You talk about, oh, I just procrastinated a little bit. Oh, I'm a perfectionist. I can't ask for what I want. I have to do it myself. Oh, I am so overwhelmed. I am so confused. All of that is under this umbrella that I call fear.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
I can relate to all of that.
Yeah. And we all can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what makes us human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You said something that really stuck out to me. You said you had to divorce who you were to become who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
What did that look like for you?
Ooh. We're going to go there, Elle.
We're going there. We're going there because we need to serve the people and let them know you can't keep your gifts hidden.
Yeah. No, I truly, totally. I'm one that says our gifts are not for us. And they're not for us to hoard. They're actually for us to give to the world. So what did that look like? So like I said, I was one of the employees at work who was a star employee. I would shine wherever I worked. My performance review was always exceeds. Nothing below that. And I know that. I knew that. I knew I was a smart person. I knew I was a hard worker. I showed up. I knew that. But at the same time, I knew there was something else I was called to do.
Yes.
Yet I didn't have the courage to do it. So here's just a little background and where that comes from. My parents are Nigerian. And so my upbringing is this is what you do. This is how it goes. This is where you walk. This is it. This is the box that you're meant to live in. This is what you do at 22. This is what you do at 25. This is what you do at 30. That's it, including getting married. So I'm at a job where it has served me, yes. And it's now time for me to move on, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the courage to go out. I didn't have the clarity even to figure out, to even name what it was that I wanted. What if I left and everything just falls apart? I have a mortgage.
Yes.
What happens? What happens at the same time? Fear is there and it says, so what's going to happen? You're just going to stay in this role and that's it forever? So it's so funny, like fear will motivate you, but at the same time, it's kind of like, but you can't go now. You can't go out. You can't step out. So it looked like that. It looked like burnout for me. I was giving my all over and over.
Yes.
I lived in New Jersey. I worked in New York and I'd get up at 5 a.m. to get to New York at 8. And by the time I got back home, it was 8 p.m. I was done. I didn't have time for my loved ones. None of that.
Yes.
And I just gave my all. Neither did I have time for me. Now, as time goes on, it's almost like who I am starts eroding a little bit. See, fear will have you doing one of three things. It will have you conforming. That's one thing. Because it says it's way too risky to be you.
Yes.
You got to do it the way other people are doing it. You got to show up the way other people are showing. So I know how to do the corporate walk and the corporate talk. I learned it well. I know how to sit in that conference room very well and carry, I know how to do it. So it will have you conforming while the essential nature of who you are is knocking, begging to come out, but it can't. It would have you constricting because you know you're called to play bigger, but something says nobody can see you.
Mhm.
You can't tell people you're trying to lose weight. You can't tell people you're trying to leave a six-figure job with all the bonuses to go try your business. Are you out of your mind? Why don't you just play it safe and stay here? So people constrict. And
Yeah.
I didn't. Then the third thing is it will have you condemning other people. Oh, look at her. Look at him. Oh, he left. I don't know. Is she the only one here? She's always starting another business. Why is she doing that? Just condemning and complaining. And you find yourself in this cycle. And what happens is it just siphones your own confidence, your self-esteem, your time, your effort, your energy. And that's what it looked like for me. Different renditions of this.
Yes.
Yeah, all of it.
You know, something that really resonated with me when I was reading your bio, and it's something that I could absolutely relate to. You mentioned that when you don't overcome your fears, it can keep you in the status quo.
Yes.
And I see it every day, right? When I have conversations with these healthcare leaders they're doing amazing things, but they have this burning desire to do more.
Yes.
But fear holds them back and keeps them right here in this container where they can't be their best selves.
Yeah.
And it's almost heartbreaking, because right now during this time, you do hear a lot about healthcare professionals being burnt out, but there's options, right?
Yes.
So do you think staying in fear is an option?
I mean, it's an option. I mean, it's an option, but are you ready for the consequences?
Listen, let's talk about that. What are the consequences? And I think something that you mentioned that was so powerful to me, Bisi, is you used all of those ways in which when you were working in corporate, right? Feeling burnt out, having to commute, like
Yes.
you use that as your fuel. I think
Yes.
we all get to a point in our business lives where we're like, hold up now, this is a straw that broke the camel's back,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. So I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about what I was in corporate, and I'm there, and all of a sudden I start getting this pain in my neck, pain, and before you know it, there were lumps. Just lumps behind my ear and my neck. And one day, I was walking into this building for an appointment, and it just hit me. I looked up, and it says, "Welcome to the Cancer Sleep Chase Center."
Oh, wow. Bisi.
And I said, how did I get here? How did I get here? We were talking about doing a biopsy. We were talking about what this would look like. I mean, and I'm saying, what is happening? And I lie to you not. Within 6-8 weeks of leaving corporate and just releasing that and stepping into what I truly wanted to do, it started dissolving.
Wow.
Just started dissolving.
Mm.
Dissolving. And that is part of the consequence and the cost of fear. See, fear is this protective glove between you and where you want to be. Fear is the gateway to freedom. It's what stands between where you are and where you want to be. Period. And what I like to teach my clients on is to get to know fear for what it is. It's a defense mechanism. It's safety, period.
Yeah.
And I teach them how to process it differently so it no longer stops you. One of the biggest things that shifted for me was this research out there that says more than 75% of our decisions are based in fear. More than 75% of our decisions are based in fear. What does that mean? Because as you're listening to me right now, your fear is on patrol because it's like, oh man, I'm about to get caught. What this means is you're saying yes to a thing you want to say no to. You're saying no to a thing you want to say yes to. And then you get home and you be like, oh, what did I do? And the next day you do what? You do it all over again. 75% of the time. And I'm talking about the little decisions. Should I listen to this podcast or not? You know what? I'm not, because if I do, I'm going to miss out on this. Should I ask the question? If I do, then they're going to think I'm stupid. I'm going to ask the question so people can think I am intelligent. These are the ways we make decisions. So what I do with my clients is bring this process to consciousness so that you're making conscious decisions. Because your fear is basically, it's a predictive mechanism. It just pulls stuff out of your memory box.
Yes.
We know this is uncomfortable. We don't want to go here. Therefore, our answer is blah.
Yes.
So what stands again between where you are and where you want to be is all that is just fear, period.
Yes.
You could call it whatever you want to call it, but it's fear.
As we're sitting here, it's interesting because people can, they can look at you and they can look at me, Bisi, but at the end of the day, like, we deal with these things too. But it's really about what do we have in place to overcome them? And I know for me, it's a means of posting affirmations in my bathroom, in my office, in my car, and reflecting on them. It's me being in a container with powerful women and putting myself in a mastermind group and investing so I can have a release to be able to share what I'm going through in business. It means so many different things. It means me reading about mindset, right? And how successful people were able to overcome that. So as we're talking, I really want to share, even if it's just one tip, like, what is something you do? Because as powerful as you are, I know that we all deal with this feeling. And someone mentioned in the comments, I'm not sure if you're able to see it, they said, fear is false evidence appearing real, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, it's false, but sometimes it feels
so
real.
Yes.
And what pushes me forward is really just thinking about, okay, if I don't reach out to these healthcare organizations that need me, I'm doing a disservice. So I have to step out of my comfort zone. So I would really love for you to share. We always hear, you got to step out of your comfort zone. If you want to be able to grow, then you got to feel that and move forward anyway. What does it look like to truly step out of that comfort zone?
I have a powerful tool that I will share with you. And I want to share this with you. As you know, Elle, just in the last couple of days, I lost somebody dear to me. And can I tell you that even in these last couple of days, going through this grief, fear shows up even in grief. Because I could hear, and I'm a certified fearless living coach, and I still deal with fear. I could hear fear saying, well, you're not showing up for your business. What are you going to do? How are you going to show up now? Aren't you supposed to be the strong one? Nothing is supposed to knock you down. So here are 3 principles that I use daily that I would love to give to you all. The first is compassion. Now, most people, when you ask them, what is compassion? They say, oh, yeah, to have this empathy for somebody else. I'm not talking about somebody else. I'm talking about the person that you see in the mirror. I'm talking about compassion for yourself. I'm talking about being gentle with yourself, gifting yourself compassion first and foremost before you gift it to other people. Giving yourself grace, being able to say, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And it's what I had to lean on today, in the last couple of days. I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and I'm gentle with myself. That's it, period. And the second one is this. And if you are wanting any kind of shift or any kind of change in your life, business, personal, relation, whatever it is, these 3 principles will work too. So first is compassion. The second one is honesty. You must be willing to tell the truth to yourself first and foremost, and then to other people. It's literally looking in your toolbox and saying, okay, I only have 3 out of 5 tools, and it's okay. Now, here's what happens. There's a reason why honesty comes after compassion, because that's the bed you lie on. If you are honest without the compassion, you're just being mean. You hear those folks that say, oh, I tell you like it is. I just tell you direct like it is. Without an ounce of compassion, no, you're not telling it like it is. You're being mean. You're being manipulative. But when you have your foundation is compassion, it's okay to be truthful. You don't have to hide, pretend like you have 10 out of 5 tools.
Yes.
You don't have to overcompensate. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to isolate or hide yourself. That's the second. Then the third one is accountability. So now it's okay. So this is my toolbox. It's 3 out of 5 tools. I do need 5 to get me to where I need to be. What must I do to get the 2? What can I do? What can I do to contribute to my livelihood? What can I do to contribute to this conversation? You ask yourself how and what questions, powerful questions. What can I do? How can I move the needle?
Yes.
Those 3 principles, compassion, honesty, and accountability. So that's been my guide these past couple of days, like huge, loads of compassion, compassion, honesty, accountability. And guys, I'm telling you, this works like magic, even in your business. We all cannot do it alone. Like Elle, you just mentioned you plug yourself in a mastermind. Likewise, I can't walk it alone. I can't see my own blind spot.
Yes.
And I know that. And gifting yourself compassion at least gives you that. It gives you clarity to be able to say, yeah, I don't know it all, and I'm not expected to.
Yes.
And it's okay. So those are the 3 principles that I've been using these last couple of days that's been helping me. Yes. Now, how to step out of your comfort zone. Woo. Let me share something with you. Powerful.
Yes, I'm ready.
Grab your pen and paper. Grab a blank piece of paper if you don't already have one, because you want to write this down.
Yes. You got someone taking notes?
Yes. So what is the issue here? We address our objectives, our goals, without assessing the levels of fear associated with them. We tend to take a goal, lump it all up, and try to tackle it, just big thing, and just try to tackle it. And we get frustrated moments later. We see that around this time of the year, right? We see that for New Year resolutions. Yes. You know, we get all, yeah, this is the year. How many people? 2020 was the year. 20, it's the year, yeah. And then 10 days later, you've lost steam.
Yes.
Something's happened. You know, that's because everything can't be lumped together. Everything really is a stretch. So what I want you to do on your piece of paper is to draw a bullseye and 2 circles around it. So it's going to look like big, bigger, biggest. So it's going to be 3 concentric circles. So your bullseye and 2 circles around it. Now, the bullseye is your comfort zone. That thing we're always talking about, your comfort zone, your comfort zone. That's your comfort zone. It is where fear has been assigned to babysit you. Ensure you do not leave. It is where lies are farmed and nurtured, so you do not leave that comfort zone. Now, get this, just because it's called comfort does not mean it's comfortable. Most people are overwhelmed, burnt out, frustrated, unfulfilled, tired, feeling trapped in their comfort zone. Your comfort zone simply means it's familiar. It's what you know how to do. That is it. And what I want you to get out of your comfort zone is this. Fear is the gatekeeper of your comfort zone. Period.
Wow. Period.
Fear is the gatekeeper of your comfort zone. So now your next level, the next circle, is what we call the stretch zone. The stretch zone is kind of where you build your self-esteem. It's also where you beat yourself up the most. Why? Because it contains the things that you know you can do. You just don't do them. They're easy to do. You just don't do them. Could I ask a question in the group about my next step for my consulting business? Can I reach out to that person? I know how to pick up the phone. But I don't know. I'm just, those things. Those are your stretches. So what I want you to do is, while you're going through this tool that I'm going to share with you, that I'm sharing with you, think about the goal that you want to reach. and you paint your comfort zone. What is life as it is right now? It's just, if you don't change anything, what is it you do in your business? You show up on the calls, you listen, and then you go about your business. That's your comfort zone. If you implement and take action, that's your comfort zone. Whatever it is. Now, your stretch zone, what I want you to do is come up with three things, three little things that will move you towards that goal that you want. What are three things? Maybe it's reach out to Elle to have a strategy call. Maybe it's join a mastermind. Maybe it's join a program. Whatever it is for you. Three little things to help you reach that goal. Now, the next ring is the risk zone.
Whew.
Yeah, it feels just like that. It's like, oh,
It's getting hot in here.
it's getting hot. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that is so, I love that you said that, Elle, because your body reacts the same, whether it's a physical threat or an emotional threat.
That's so true.
You know, they may ask you, come speak to 2,000 people, and you start sweating, everything you're having, the palpitations. It's the same way if you are faced with a lion. Same thing. Your brain does not know the difference. Doesn't. So that next ring, the risk zone. Now, the risk zone is a little bit scary because it's outside of your comfort zone. You're not sure you can do the things in here. And it carries this possibility of failure, rejection. You don't know. It's a little, all I want you to do is come up with two things in your risk zone that you need to take in order to achieve that goal, that big goal. Just two things. That's it. And then all of that white space outside the third circle, all of that space is the die zone. The die zone. And yes, it feels just like that. Like, I can't breathe. Somebody help. Yes, you are looking for the exit sign. You want out. It's so far out of your comfort zone. You cannot even imagine.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine. It's like, you know what? If I have to do this, I don't know if this is a goal I want to do anyway. You know. So what happens is we take the one project and we try to go tackle it, not realizing that there are levels of fear associated with the subtasks.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is come up with 3 in stretch, 2 in risk, and 1 in die zone. That's it. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, here's what you do. This is how you use this tool. And this tool, by the way, is credited to Rhonda Britton of the Fearless Living Institute. So what happens is I want you to forget about the risk and the die zone for now. Stop trying to do the hard and the hard and the hardest.
Look, that's me.
Forget about the risk and the die zone for now. All I want you to do is take on your stretches. You know, those easy things that you know you can do, but you keep going, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it. Just start taking those steps. That's it. Your stretches. That's it. Now, here's what's going to happen. Lean in, guys. Lean in. Here's what's going to happen. When you go and take that stretch, what are you doing? You're stepping out of your comfort zone. Guess who shows up? Your gatekeeper. Fear. Where are you going? People are going to see you post on Facebook. What? You want to ask for the business? They're probably going to say no. You probably need another certification. Perhaps go enroll in school for another year. It's too late. It is not time. You can't do it the way somebody else does. Fall back. Fall back. Your fear will speak to you in the language that you understand in order to keep you in your comfort zone. When I took on speaking, it was the same thing. The voice came up and said, wait. Your corporate experience has been in finance. Yes, you did some presentations. You want to start speaking on the stages? I don't think so, Bisi. Sit. People are going to see you. They're going to throw eggs at you. What's going on? But the good thing is I'd mastered fear and I understood what my fear voice sounded like. So now that you know this, your fear is going to say, talk to you in a way that it gets you back in your comfort zone. All you do is see it, acknowledge it. I see you. I hear you. I'm willing to take this step. And you move, you take on your stretch. I'm willing to take this step. And you move. Now, here's the thing. Fear is relentless. It is relentless and it does its job very, very well. It will come back. It will come back to try and convince you because its job is to keep you in your comfort zone. That is it. So it'll come back. All you get to do is say, I see you, I hear you, thank you, but I got this.
Yes.
And you move.
Yes.
My friends, please do not argue with fear. Do not argue with fear. This is not a dialogue. You just say, I see you, I see you. Okay, thank you. I got this. I move. Do not argue with fear. It knows everything that you know. It is just as educated as you are. It is just as spiritual as you. You cannot pray it away. I see you. I got you. Move. Period. That's all you do. Now, here's the next step that you do. Once you step out of your comfort zone and you take on your stretch, you must acknowledge yourself. You must acknowledge forward movement. Too many times people are waiting for the end line to say, yay, I did it. You're waiting for somebody to pat you on the back. Hey, well done, you did it. No, this isn't about if you passed or failed.
Yes.
This is about taking the step. So I don't care how well you did it. I don't care how small the step is. The win is that you stepped out of your comfort zone. Because up until now, your fear has convinced you should have done it better. You should have done it faster, quicker, before now. Perfect. It goes on and on and on. See, fear will motivate you. It might motivate you, but it will never let you be satisfied. Never. So you must acknowledge forward movement because it is a win. Think about how long you have lived in your comfort zone.
Yes.
How long you've just stayed in there. One of my clients, Rebecca, she was able to launch her podcast just doing this, acknowledging forward movement, bit by bit, bit by bit. It wasn't about doing anything perfect. Just bit by bit, acknowledge and boom. Now, what happens is this. We come back in 2 months and say, hey, have you been taking all your stretches and acknowledging yourself? Show me what your comfort zone looks like. You know what you're going to draw for me? You're going to draw your comfort zone now includes your stretch zone. That's now your comfort zone. Your risk zone now is a stretch. Remember that die where that was like, oh, take my breath away. Now it's a risk. It's not so scary. Now you have a whole new die zone to deal with.
Yes.
This is not only how you step out of your comfort zone and achieve your goals, it's also how you build solid foundation so that this is repeatable for you.
Yes. This is a process that continues.
Yes, absolutely.
As you reach that next milestone, you will have to restart this cycle.
Yes.
But what you said was so important, Bisi, acknowledging your wins.
Yes.
Because what I can say and relate to is those wins are encouragement for me as a business consultant to continue to step out of my comfort zone a little bit more each time.
Yes.
So I appreciate you for sharing that, especially the levels of fear. No one has ever broken it down. That's why I said you need to be here. You need to be here because those of us who have solutions that can really change healthcare are often in this, we're stuck in that comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So many. Yeah. So many. I mean, it's when I look at my clients and look at the shifts that they make, and this can happen this quickly. It can happen. It can shift for you that quickly. But because fear is relentless, when I look at them and I see the shifts that they make, my heart is just like, wow.
Yes.
Wow, because there are people waiting for you.
Yes.
There are people waiting to hear you. They can't hear any other voice but yours. But because your fear has said it's way too risky for you to be yourself, you step out there and you speak like somebody else. You do your business like somebody else, and you wonder why you're not getting the clients.
Yes.
You wonder why you're not closing, you're not able to get the contracts, because they need to hear you. They need to hear you, your heart. And fear keeps that in check. And it's really to keep us safe. It's just that in that safety, it hinders our growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want just everyone to just listen to that again. Just listen to that again. When it comes to, there are people who are waiting for you. They're waiting for your experience, your solutions. They're waiting for you. But if you let fear get in the way, you can't evolve and change lives the way you need to. When you let fear get in the way, I want you to let that rest in you. That's powerful. I appreciate you, Bisi. I really want to take the time to open it up to questions. So if you are in business and you feel like this conversation resonates with you, I want to open it up for you guys to ask questions while Bisi is here, because she has helped her clients overcome these fears that we commonly deal with when we're either launching our new consulting business, and even we're in business.
Yes.
From the outside looking in, people are probably thinking, "Oh, you got this." But as I mentioned, I deal with my own fears as well.
Yeah. Yes.
At the end of the day, that comfort zone, I'm being stretched all the time.
All day.
I have this right here, one of my sticky notes that I hadn't shared with you, Bisi. So every day I'm supposed to do 5 calls, 5 emails with video, and 5 follow up with previous previous leads. And even looking at that, sometimes it's like, oh, do I have it in me today? Do I really want to pick up the phone?
Yeah.
But then I have to really think about, okay, as you mentioned, there's someone that needs me. There's a patient out there that I can change the trajectory of their experience. I'm needed. So because of that, I'm going to make my 5 calls today.
That's right. That is right. That is so right.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you. Let's see. I don't see any questions yet, but there's a comment here from a Facebook user. You are so right, Elle. Yes, as healthcare workers, especially nurses, we innovate every day in our workplaces, but we are stuck in the familiar zone with fear as our gatekeepers. Hopefully, Bisi gave you some tips where you will no longer accept, because it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yes.
You can let it be your gatekeeper, or you can move past it, as Bisi
That's
gave
right.
us great suggestions and recommendations and tips. Bisi, while we're waiting for any questions, I want you to share any resource or tools that the audience can use for us to move forward.
Absolutely. So, you know what? Let me I'm going to share with you my Face Your Fear course. So in this course, you're going to discover the power of just identifying what holds you back and what to do about it. You know, you're gonna see who's in the driver's seat. Is it you or your fears? Remember, I talked about 75% of your decisions are fear-based. You know, how much of that is true? Who's in the driver's seat? You know, and understanding on how you are wired and how it's hindering your growth and expansion. And you're gonna get a cheat sheet to help you identify how your fear shows up. So that, because a lot of people to say, oh, it's just my personality, you know, I come from this place, this is how we do things. No, it's probably your fear, and that is the language it uses to keep you in your comfort zone. That's all it is. It's not your personality. You know, you can do something different, you can make a different decision. So Face Your Fear Mini will help you just unravel what fear looks like. You know, people have identified and said, oh, I'm a perfectionist. It almost seems like a badge of honor. That literally, I call it a minion of fear. Because the fear is, if this goes out and it isn't perfect, I'm going to be looked upon as whatever it is for you. It's all under this umbrella of fear. That is it. So I see a question, when we see fear coming, what technique do you use to keep it at bay? I love that you even see it coming, because most people don't. Most people don't. So acknowledge it. And what I want you to do is acknowledge it and know that you are not your fear.
Yes.
I want you to get that. You are not your fear. You have fears, but you are not it. So, yes, acknowledge it. What's happening right now? What am I fearful of? What's going on? What is it I'm trying to avoid? What am I hesitating? What is it that I don't want to face? And you can literally use the three principles I talked about. Compassion. All right, I see you. Yes, of course I'm fearful. I haven't been here before. And it's okay. And it's okay. And then honesty. Okay, what am I feeling? What do I want?
Yes.
And be truthful. Okay, how can I move forward? How can I move forward? Use your stretch, risk, and die tool I just gave to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Just take on that stretch, simple, and acknowledge yourself. And the acknowledgements are so important because this is how you begin to create new neural pathways in your brain that says, I can do this.
Yes.
I can do this.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you for answering that question, Bissy. Looks like we have another one that came in from Rashida. Rashida asks, if you are not sharing your fearless wins as well as your wins, you are cheating your clients. Nobody wants perfect. They want authentic you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Rashida.
Absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
so many jewels that you dropped, quotable moments. And this one is another one. I appreciate you, Rashida. Another comment, or it looks like a question from Taylor. Hey, Taylor, so happy to see you here. Taylor has an amazing consulting firm. Powerful words, Bissy. Taylor here from Southern Evals. My question is, what advice do you have for me in destroying fear in new employees? Oh, wow. We bring on when faced with new and novel projects they are not familiar with.
This
Yes,
is
because
so,
you
yeah.
have to build up your employees as well. That's so true.
Yes, this hits home because it's what I faced when I was in corporate as well. And one of my projects was my team, making sure my team was covered, making sure they were covered. So, Taylor, what I would say is implement these three principles: compassion, honesty, accountability. Because the truth is, they're new employees. They're coming in with an empty toolbox, or maybe just one or five tools in the toolbox. And it's okay. Like, no, letting them know that that's okay. So a lot of people come in, new employees come in with this fear because they have this expectation of themselves or expectations that people have placed on them. And we see this a lot in the corporate space. See this so much. It's just so much fear out there. So it's you also demonstrating that for your employees. You got to be the walking demonstration of this.
That's right.
I was never afraid to tell my team, I don't know what this is. I need you guys to help me. And I was the boss. I need you guys to help me. I don't have this particular tool in my toolbox. Perhaps you do. Could you share?
Yeah.
So it's really getting vulnerable. There's so much power as a leader being vulnerable, being honest. So I would say utilize those three tools, principles that I gave you: the compassion, honesty, and accountability, and start using your stretch, risk, and die. That's a tool that you can use with your new employees. Instead of giving them a project that looks like it's a die for them, what's a stretch? Reel it back a little bit.
Yes.
What's a stretch? And walk them through it.
Yeah.
But you yourself must be a demonstration of this. I don't think you can ask as a leader. I don't think you can ask your team, your followers, something that you wouldn't do. You wouldn't walk through yourself.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that's a powerful message in itself, because one thing that I found extremely important is sharing those resources that I use to build up my confidence, my self-esteem, building that, stepping outside of my comfort zone. In fact, our business coach recently hosted Game On Live, right?
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
I invited a team member because I know she needed the same tools that I needed to be successful. I want her to be successful. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Keith. Hi, Keith. It's so good to see you here. Keith said we are implementing chronic care management to providers. The hardest part is providers don't understand how personal CCM services can make a patient feel. Can we do, okay, let's see, what can we do to change and approach the providers? Let's see. The hardest part if providers don't understand. Okay, so Keith, it sounds like you're having a barrier with communicating to the providers. Is that right? Am I right with that? What can we do to change the approach to providers? Lizzie, do you understand that question? Keith,
So, so I am with you. I think this might be a communication. And listen, I'm going to go back to those three principles. If you approached a conversation with compassion first and foremost, with yourself first,
yes.
and then you are able to approach the provider, and they don't know, and you gift them that compassion that they don't know. And then you come to the table with, okay, now what's true? What do we have? And what do we want? Where do we want to go? So it's all about having these powerful conversations rooted in freedom, not fear, rooted in compassion, not grandstanding, and not trying to just change things. So it's really a collaboration, if that makes sense. So I would say go back to those principles, let that be your foundation, and approach the conversations like that.
Yes, I want to, Bissy, I know you mentioned your Face Your Fear course. I
Mhm.
want to share that in the comments.
Okay.
That way, for those of you who are interested, and I think this is especially important, especially as Taylor mentioned, with his employees, Bissy also works with corporate. And
Yes.
so a lot of times what can prevent someone who's extremely knowledgeable to kind of sit back and be quiet, they're also dealing with fears.
Absolutely.
So for those of us who are healthcare consultants, when we're building our teams, and even as we are, working with corporate organizations, when we see a need, Bissy is an excellent resource. So he says, thank you. I just put in, let's see, I just put in the chat. So for those of you who are able to see the chat, I put that there. And Bissy, again, any additional resources? Can you share a little bit more about the course, just to kind of replay what we talked about earlier, what you shared with us earlier?
Sure. So about the course, the Face Your Fear Mini. So you know what? You're going to get the Face Your Fear Mini, and you just put that in there. I was just going to say I was going to gift somebody a seat in my 2-week program. It's called Discover Your Fearless Formula. Now, let me tell you about this program. It's all about, it's a results-focused program where you get a training every day, where I show you exactly how to reframe 4 of the most common fears and turn them into fuel for your success. You're going to walk away with an understanding on how you are wired for the results that you keep getting, and how to learn to say no to fear through just reframing. You're going to walk away with tools to help you release the shame, self-doubt, all of that, and get you moving in the direction of your goals. Another thing you're going to walk away with is the know-how on what to do whenever you get faced with excuses, procrastination, burnout, overwhelm, lack of self-discipline, all of that stuff. All of that stuff.
I'm like, yes, yes, yes. It happens to the best of us.
So here's what you get. You're going to get focused and powerful daily live trainings. The next round starts February 1st. You're going to get daily fearless actions, because there's one thing knowing, there's another thing knowing, right? So you will get actions to do daily. What I'm going to bonus you also, because I love to set my people up for success, is downloadable fast action fearless workbook to help you deepen the work. You're going to get 2 weekly live Q&A calls with me. That alone is valued at $9.97. You're also going to get an online community for support. There's nothing like being in a community of people to cheer you along, to hold you accountable to the results that you want, that you've promised yourself over and over. So I want to gift this to somebody. Elle, I can't see the chat.
Yes.
I can see the chat, but here's what I want you to know. And I have something brewing up inside of me that I just might do. Fear cannot guarantee your safety outside of your comfort zone, which is why it works relentlessly to keep you in it. And when it keeps you in it, in your comfort zone, it hinders you from taking growth risks,
Yes.
which prevents you from having whether it's the deep and meaningful relationships, starting or expanding your business, standing up for your beliefs, having an incredible team, speaking up in public, making the impact that you are called to make. When fear has a hold on you, not only is a brilliant mind wasted, you also end up with low self esteem, low self belief, settling for less than optimal in your life, and you're ridden with procrastination, self judgment, blame, bitterness, all of that crap. What would be possible for you if you could become keenly aware of the real reason behind your struggles, behind the settling or the playing small, and get to wave it goodbye for good? What would be possible if you could awaken and embody your God given potential and power and walk in full confidence and ownership of it and of your purpose? What would be possible if you could access and activate the key to transcend your fears that sabotage your happiness and your success today? I could like keep going.
Listen,
We need to pick somebody.
you know what? I should let's see. I almost
Hold
like to do like a raffle or draw, Bissy.
All right. So how is the chat looking though, Elle? How's the chat looking? Because I don't. Oh, wait a minute! I can see the comments.
See the comments? Yeah,
I can see the comments.
Bissy, I want you to choose someone. You're the guest. I want you to select someone. Everyone here is a healthcare consultant, and as I mentioned before, we all deal with some fears that hold us back. So I think anyone here would be an ideal person to gift.
Oh my goodness! All right. Woo.
Okay.
I didn't think this was going to be this hard.
I know.
Okay. All right. This does not seem fair. All right. So it looks like everyone has been. Oh, Nanya said this has been such an amazing episode. Awesome. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. You guys brought it. You brought the energy. I love you, Elle. Because of Elle, you can thank Elle for this. Everybody on this call gets a seat in my next Discover Your Fearless formula.
Yes.
Everyone on here gets a seat. Now, get this though, before we even, here's what I want in return. Your full engagement. Bring this level of commitment. I mean, people pay $997 to come into this program. I want your full commitment. Bring this same level of commitment to the program. And I promise you, you will not leave the same. Is this a deal? Because if you know you won't and you are not up to it, please do not put in your email.
Yes.
I want folks who are ready, willing, and open. She says, let's go. Yes, Ananya, let's go for sure. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we need to all just, Bissy, thank you.
You're welcome.
Show her love in the comments. I love. Let's see. We have another comment here. Excellent conversation. Thank you, Ella. Yes. And I'm so glad that you were my very first live guest. We all need to hear this as business owners, as healthcare consultants. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. And now everyone's going to be registering for Bissy's mini course, but also Bissy, if anyone wants to reach out to you personally, book you for their corporate organization or just work with you one-on-one, can you share how the community of healthcare consultants can reach out to you?
Absolutely. So I am Bisi MacGregor on Facebook, on LinkedIn as well. Bisi MacGregor, you can shoot me a private message. I'm there. This is my playgrounds. I play on there. If you want to shoot me an email, it's bisi@bisimacgregor.com. So it's BISI. I'm sure you have the Bisi MacGregor, BISI, and MacGregor is MacGregor. So connect with me on Facebook, on LinkedIn.
Yes. Yeah. And Bissy is also, she's inside of our healthcare consultant mastermind group on Facebook. So you can reach out to Bissy inside of our private healthcare consulting community there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this live episode. We will be back for more every single week with someone new who's either a business expert who can share strategy or also healthcare consultants that we will be bringing on the show Bisi, I appreciate you again.
Mm.
Grateful for you, your friendship, your sisterhood. I'm so happy that you were able to bless us with how to overcome fears today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you for the work you do, Elle. Thank you for showing up the way you do. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us. There's no reason why you can't have what you want. There are people waiting for you, rooms filled with people that are assigned to you. Go get them.
Yes, and they're willing to pay you too.
Hello.
Yes, you guys have a blessed afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye, everyone.